Hello and welcome to the Sunday Million. This one's for the 2nd of December 2012. 7,184 runners gave us this gigantic prize pool of $1.4 million and change, all from just $215 buy-ins. There really is nothing like it anywhere in the pokerverse, and there are the 9 players looking to claim the Sunday Million title and a big 6-figure payout. Fantastically well done to all of them for getting here, of course. Especially draw attention to the 2 UK players who I feel are almost certainly the best looking of these 9 in real life. On to the final table we go. The blinds are 150, 300,000. As I said, 2nd of December, second day of Advent, the day the wise men brought poker tips to the infant in the manger. I don't know what happened on the 2nd of December, but we're getting close to the Joyeux Noël. Should be pretty joyous for somebody, because this will be a big payout. Taffy Fella, very short stacked arriving at the final table. Just over 3 big blinds, and King Queen seems good enough for 3 big blinds. Why not? Now, if you're in touch with the online poker scene, you will have already noticed IA Cog 4. Now, that screen name is based on his surname, which I'll admit there's been some debate over how to pronounce. It's Kevin Iacofano or Icofano, depending on which you prefer. See me mangle it 9 different ways before the end of the commentary. Looks like we're going to get a call here from Fran Zimor. So we are going to have an all-in coup on our first hand. Not a good one for Taffy Fella. Not only is he still going to be in trouble if he wins this, but he's pretty unlikely to win it. Gives himself a shot. Can catch, well, the heart draw for Fran Zimor makes it unlikely, but he can catch a 10 to win, as well as a queen. He's not going to do either, and Fran Zimor will knock him out. First casualty of the final table is Taffy Fella from Brighton in the UK, $11,000, much bigger payouts to come. Our next hand is hand number 19, same blind level, 8 players. As I mentioned, Iacog 4 actually finished 2nd in the Sunday Million just a few months ago, back in April. So looking to go one better. Has a W Coupe bracelet on his poker CV. Bit more tournament pedigree on this final table. Wat and Loss, or What and Loss, won the Sunday warm-up last year. So a mixture of players, as always, at the Sunday Million final table. Dalek Jason has opened the action here. Polish player with big chip stack. He is your current chip leader. And Fran Zimor's going to call here. Don't know about this. Well, he's flopped the best hand. So that's something. Tough to win with the old King 3 out position. We'll see if he can pull it off. Dalek Jason is going to make the continuation bet. And maybe Fran Zimor has a plan. I mean, okay, so we're check raising the minimum. I can't be honest, I don't know why we're doing that. But we have got the worst hand to fold, so that's something. 2.8 million in that pot, and off it goes to Fran Zimor, who's won a couple of hands in the early going, up to nearly 7 million. Hand 21, just a couple of hands later, and we've brought out all of the big guns. Looking around the table, almost everyone has something, which is nice. 19 Victor 89 has the 9s. And he'll get the action going. Now, Dalek Jason with the ace-queen does decide to flat call. Could have 3-bet, but decided flat call's the way. And What and Loss has a decision here. He's going to get involved as well. Might have been tempted to squeeze. Obviously, we don't know how active 19 Victor 89 has been. And this is the sort of stuff that never actually happens when you're playing poker, which is having pocket kings in the big blind at a big final table and having 3 players that want to get involved in front of you. Must be nice for Iacog 4. He's going to give this some thought. We'll want to get the bet sizing right here. Starting the hand with, as you can see, just over 7 million. And he's going to make a pretty sizable raise. 2.2 million to go. And what do you do if you're Victor in this spot? Has around about 20 big blinds. He's got a good aggressive player raising 3 other players in the big blind. Do you go with your 9s or do you throw them away? I think those are the only 2 realistic options, and he's going to throw them away. So not the easiest decision in the world. He'll be enjoying watching this back because we can see on this occasion, let's all play results. He's made the right one. Dulwich Jason will get out of the way. And Wottenloss going to get out of the way. So Yaakov might as well have had 2-3 offsuit. Funny old game. He wins this one up over 10 million. We've gone up in blinds. That will happen. You are in a tournament situation. Yeah, we've all got homes to go to. 200,000, 400,000 now. Your short stack is Austin XD from Lima, Peru. Just amazing, actually. Players from all over the world every week on the Sunday Million final table. Dulwich Jason has opened things up here. Your chip leader staying active, as you'd expect him to do. Franzimore thinking about this. He's got a slightly odd stack situation here. He's got 16 big blinds, so he kind of would have had to shove there. Decided not to do it. Austin XD may feel differently. He's sitting on a very short stack, isn't he? 2.7 million, and in it goes with the ace-jack. And this is going to be a simple math problem for Dulwich Jason. It's not going to cost him much more, this, despite the fact he doesn't have a great hand. It's 1.9 million to win 4.4. So, yeah, he does make the call. Austin XD the favourite, but also the player at risk in this one. And it may be the end of the road for him. 8 on the flop, vaults Dulwich Jason to the lead. 7 changes nothing. Austin XD needs an ace or a jack, or he's done. 2 of spades, not going to get it done. Our chip leader extends his chip lead, and Austin XD is out in 8th spot for $17,000 and change. And Mellow Peach from Lithuania will shove with ace-jack. Pretty easy reshove for Wottenloss with the 10s. Guess the only decision is whether to flat call or just reshove there. He's always going to play. And looks like everyone else will get out of the way. And Mellow Peach will be flipping for his tournament life. Classic race. Nice to see the 10s after he gets shoved on behind pretty quickly. Kind of the best case scenario that he's in a race. Not the greatest flop for him. Needs to up his game in the next third of a second. No, sir. And that is the sad absence of Mellow Peach. The Lithuanian leaves us. And he's gone for $30,000. Good run through the tournament. But that's it for Mellow Peach. He leaves us 6-handed, playing 6 max for the Sunday Million title and the traditional boatload of cash. Quite extraordinary. I make no apology for continuing to remind you that this is a $215 buy-in tournament. And several of these players will walk away with 6-figure cashes. At least the top 3. Victor's opened this pot, and Tom is going to flat call with the Queen 10. And that's not the flop he wants, but it looks like the flop he wants. I need to think of a name for this situation. It keeps happening. Fool's Hold'em or something. Fool's Flop. Is that it? Fool's Flop. Done it live during your commentary. It's a Fool's Flop situation. Tom CLS thinks he has the best hand. Really, he's annihilated. That's trademark, by the way. Don't start saying Fool's Flop and think that you don't owe me some kind of royalty. Victor will make the sturdy continuation bet and get check raised by Fool's Flop victim Tom CLS. Can't realistically say Victor not putting his money in. Yeah, in it goes. And Tom probably isn't feeling too great about life now that Victor's gone all in. He's going to get the bad news that he needs to get luckier. He's not the player at risk, though. Victor is the player at risk should things go wrong. Ace-10 holding up so far. Just the river to go, and he gets it home. So a nice spot for 19 Victor 89, and he moves into the reckoning in this tournament. Third place for him right now. Of course, that coup does leave Tom CLS a little bit short stacked, under 10 big blinds. Actually is the short stack of the 6. Victor, though, playing his rush and playing his pocket threes. We're into double the big blind territory on this final table. Have been for most of it, actually. And Watton Loss is going to stay aggressive here. As I mentioned, did win the Sunday warm-up last year, so knows what it takes to go through a big online field. And you'd think it'd be a nicely timed 3-bet. Victor decides to flat call, which is, I think, a little bit optimistic. Boom! No longer. You've got to know when it's coming. Such a vital part of pre-flop decision-making. 3 on the flop for Victor. It is an easy game. Now, how fast does he decide to play this set? And if he doesn't play it fast, how much more does Watton Loss bluff at this pot? Well, he is going to play it quickly, and I suspect that's the end of this adventure. It is. Might as well have had 2-5 offsuit. Well, that's a straight draw, isn't it? So, perfectly defensible play. He takes it down, whatever. Converts those pocket threes into cash. Pretty nice result at the final table. Both these two still in big contention. Dalek Jason's your chip leader, and he's got 2 red kings as well. Makes the traditional double the big blind raise. Everyone will fold, and it looks like Tom CLS, the Swedish player, one of 2 Swedish players actually, Victor also from Sweden. Tom CLS will put the money in. Not too much of a decision to make here, is there? Dalek Jason's a big favourite to knock out Tom CLS. We'll see if the kings hold up. Well, Tom CLS makes 1 jack. He'll be needing another one of those little monkeys. Well, now a 7 would chop it up. A queen does not. Dalek Jason makes a bigger straight than the board and knocks out Tom CLS. $44,500 for 6th place. Great result for him. Great run through the tournament. We'd like you to have one of those on us. Details of the free seat shot you can get in our online free roll coming up later in the programme.
Competition everywhere. We are poker.
A lot of those people are still following Rafa around. It's a big problem for him. Dalek Jason, 26.5 million. Watton Loss, 15 million. And Victor, 14 million are at the top of the field. Ayakog and Franzi Moore still in with a shout, though. The blinds are going up, and you know what happens at the end of the million. It really is anyone's tournament. Lots of money up for grabs. Spoiler alert, there is a deal, but it's just heads up. So we're playing straight up for the money until we get to the last 2 here. And we're getting into the big money jumps. We'll see if that affects anyone's decision making. Victor on the button is not going to get involved with anything. So the 7-3 goes in the muck. And blind war alert between our 2 chip leaders. Dalek is going to raise with the 10-5 and Watton Loss is going to flat call him in position. And Dalek's going to bink trips. Well, this is an amazing spot, isn't it? Because, as you can see, he's raising 10-5 offsuit, so he's raising almost any 2 out of the small blind. And if you're in Watton Loss's seat, there's no way that you believe he has trips here. So it could get a bit ugly. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he didn't continuation bet there, because he's going to get action so often from What and Loss, either bluff raising him or floating him. But as it is, I don't know, checking is what you do with trips, if you see what I mean. Anyway, he check calls. What and Loss trying to take the pot down. Does have a gut shot, What and Loss, to take this one away. A 7 would take care of business for him. We'll see how aggressive What and Loss is going to be here. How many streets he's going to bluff. Certainly 2. Trying to get Dulek Jason off his ace high type stuff. We know he's got way better than that. 6 million in the middle right now. And a 9. Well, 9 makes What and Loss 2 pair. So he now beats Dalek Jason's kind of ace high, king high, small pocket pair stuff. So yeah, he just checks down the river. Dalek Jason with that nice flop extends his chip lead in this tournament up over 29 million. More action from the ever popular 200, 400,000 blind level. And number 44. And Franzimore, your short stack on 12 big blinds. This looks like a prime opportunity to get the money in. And decides to flat. Well, a little bit surprising. He's done this before. We saw him do it earlier with the King 3. And ICOG will also flat. So 3 to the flop. Something for everyone on it. Middle pair for Franzimore. Top pair for ICOG. And What and Loss has the gut shot to the Broadway. And the ace overcard. Never forget an ace overcard. But no one wants to bet it. So we'll see another one for free. And, well, now everybody has something a little bit better. Franzimore with second pair and a straight draw. ICOG with top pair and a gut shot. And What and Loss with a pair of 10s and the ace overcard and the gut shot. And he's not going to continue. Franzimore gets called by ICOG. He's played this hand a little bit deceptively. You wouldn't put him on a pair of kings. And that is the sound of a poker bink. Franzimore makes Broadway on the river. Just bets 800,000. I don't know. I think he might feel like he left a little bit of money on the table there. Very small river bet with the nuts. Oh no, well there's a hard flush draw out there. So not the nuts, but you still want to be looking to value bet a little bit bigger than that, I think. Anyway, he does take it down, and it does get him out of short stack trouble. He's up over 8 million now. And kind of deep stack. We got to this point in the tournament pretty quickly compared to the average Sunday million. So the shortest stacks have around 20 big blinds, 5-handed, which is pretty strong. Enough room for manoeuvre for the shortest stack at the table to make this 3-bet semi-bluff. ICOG 4, putting the pressure on What and Loss. He's a pretty active player. And Dalek Jason, well, he's got a nice hand, also reading his opponents pretty well. 2 of the more active players at this final table from the start. ICOG will call in position. Just less than the pot size bet left. And, well, he's been lucky on the flop, hasn't he? Out-flopping Dalek Jason. And if he's going to call the pre-flop bet, you can be certain that that's enough to put the money with on the flop, I'd have thought. Jason asks him the question. ICOG says, yes, please. And we've got a 16 million chip pot. Big pot. And it looks like it's going to go ICOG's way. He makes a full house on the turn. Dalek Jason can't knock him out the tournament. Far from it. ICOG now up into second place. 16.7 million. You'll notice I'm alternating ICOG and ICOG because I'd rather be right 50% of the time than encounter the horrific possibility of being wrong 100% of the time for the first time in my broadcast career. I'm a hedger. I don't know what to tell you. Franzimore with the Queen 10. He's called with worse. He'll call with that. Dalek Jason with the Sams, and that's the bingo flop. Well, Dalek Jason's going to make a lot of money here. Pretty cold flop. Fool's flop for Franzimore. Seriously, that one's going to stick, I swear. Maybe that's the one that makes me the big bucks. Anyone? No, is that the sound of Pepsi ringing? I'll get back to them. Got to finish this. Franzimore bets and Dalek Jason just flat calls. Dalek Jason's hitting sets for fun. Oh dear. That's a bit cold, isn't it? You fools flopped me and now you've fools rivered me. That one doesn't work. But it's worse. Top two pair and there's just no way not to go broke here for Franzimore. I don't think there is anyway. He certainly should be going broke if you take my meaning. Dalek Jason's going to make this look like, I don't know what he's going to make it look like, some sort of convoluted river bluff. But, I mean, Franzimore just can't fold here. Actually shouldn't fold here, of course. He's thinking about it, though. No automatic stack off. Yeah, he does put the money in. Pretty unlucky, pretty nasty cooler to go out on. But what can you do? Could happen at any stage of the tournament. You've got to take it happening when you've already secured 5th spot and $58,900 for the player from the Czech Republic. And that little adventure leaves us four-handed. 250, 500,000 blinds now. And the very active Wotton Loss has to be a lot less active right now. Here's the short stack. Interesting flat call this from Victor. Decides not to 3-bet the ace-queen. So a lot of deception here if he does flop to his hand. And he sort of kind of has. Does flop the straight draw. And a couple of overcards. Iacog well in control though. With his top pair of jacks. A lot of how big this pot gets depends how Victor wants to play his hand. No surprise that the Englishman on the button bets. Victor just flat calls. So we'll see if the turn card provokes more action or kills it. Well, the 7 of hearts, bit of a blank, does make a straight for all players holding an 8. There are none of those players. Victor checks and Iacog going for more value. Victor thinking about this one. It's just very easy for Iacog to have, you know, 1 pair, 2 pair type stuff, straight. I mean, well, Victor does get there. And you just thought it'll go check, check here. Yeah, it does. So Victor outpaces Iacog on the river and wins a nice one. Actually overtakes the Englishman in the chip counts now. Victor from Sweden up into 2nd spot. Hand 69, stop it at the back. Inappropriate. Wotton Loss is all in for 5.6 million, which is just over 11 big blinds. Dalek Jason with the decision. Not much of a decision, is it, with the chip lead and King Queen, and he does make the call. Wotton Loss the favourite, though, to get back in this. Needs his hand to hold up. And a nice flop. Dalek Jason can beat him with a jack. Well, now he can catch another queen to win this one, or the king, or the jack. Needs to see some paint. Does see some paint. Cruel blow for him on the river. He's out in 4th spot, $76,000, and we're 3-handed in the million.
We are 10,000 people in Brazil, holding our breath. We are alone. Hunters. hunted. We are committed. Blessed. Calm. We are all in. We are poker.
So Brazil get the World Cup, the Olympics, and they win that poker hand. It's outrageous. December the 6th is your online poker show free roll date with Destiny, 3:35 Eastern Standard Time. Your password, Godlike Roy. Godlike Roy. Dalek Jason's been a bit godlike at this final table, flopping sets left and right. Gives him a big chip lead as we go into three-handed play. Actually starts it off with more than 50% of the chips in play, but that would change over the next few hands. Akok4 and Victor both chipping away, and it's pretty open as we rejoin the action. 250, 500,000 blinds. Plenty of poker to be played here with the two shorter chip stacks with about 40 big blinds. So this should be fun. Three very competent players and a lot of money up for grabs. Third place has $114,000 locked up, if you can imagine that. Victor flops top pair with ace-10. Again, flat calling. Saw him do that with ace-queen against the button raise from Akog. Everyone's going to check. And we'll see a turn. And it's a bingo for Dalek Jackson. He is still running godlike. Going to be tough to beat him if he keeps, you know, shooting the lights out, I think is the phrase. He has trips. We've seen him have trips before. He's also flopped a couple of sets. And why not turn it into a full house? Rude not to. I'm pretty sure I could play a stack at the moment. Actually, the sound engineer is saying that he could play a stack at the moment. It's easy, just wait for the full house. One day we'll all be in this spot, my friends. One day. He's going to raise here, and Victor's not going to go for it, unfortunately, for Dalek Jason. But he'll take the chip stack, and he's looking unstoppable once again. Hand 85, still playing 250, 500,000 blinds. Victor has the button and an ace, and that's good for a raise. He's 3xing it. Wow. It's like we've gone back in time 18 months. I'm trying to think of other things that were different. MySpace was still not popular. Akog4 is going to check the nut flush draw. And Victor's going to join him in the check fest. Eight pairs the board. And time for Akog to start betting here. Victor's going to raise. Quite an interesting raise. I mean, well, yeah, Akog, no hesitation in bet 3 betting this. He'll get the money in with a nut flush draw. And the ace may work for him as well. And Victor will fold. So, kind of curious raise from Victor on the turn there, just trying to force one through. Akog had a little something, and he takes down a nice pot. Clear second place for him now. Good time to remind you, as I said at the top of this commentary, Akog4 finished runner-up just a few months ago, this year in April, so looking to go one better at this final table. He's in position to do it now. Victor with the ace-king has opened this one, and the Englishman will call him with the queen-10 of hearts. And hits a monstrous flop. Huge flop. Top pair, the heart flush draw, and a gut shot. He will happily get in as many chips as Victor owns on that one. Not going to get the opportunity on the flop. It does go check, check. Akog bets. Tough for Victor. He's going to be getting a little bit frustrated. missing flops and having Jakog keep firing at him all the time, well, unfortunately, he's got it this time. So if Victor gets creative here, he's going to be in trouble. Does have outs, of course. Does have cards to win this. But a big underdog. He's just going to flat call. And that will probably wrap up Victor's tournament. He makes top pair on the river against a really aggressive opponent who just happens to have the heart flush. And in goes Victor's money. Nothing he can do there once he's got to the river and the aces come. 19 Victor 89 is out in third spot. The Swedish player takes home $114,000. We're heads up for the million. Dalek Jason, who's been running fantastically well, and Jakog 4, who's just been the nemesis for 19 Victor 89. And I can tell you they would do a deal. So a deal was done heads up. Still playing for big money, $20,000 and the Sunday Million title on the line. And Jakog 4 looking to go one better. He's been here before. Lost the heads up back in April, the Sunday Million. Although there are no losers in the heads up for the Sunday Million. He was the loser back in April, but looking to take this one down. New territory for Dalek Jason. And there's a decent amount of play left in this. As you can see, players are pretty deep stacked and pretty close together. Hearts are Jakog 4's best friend at the moment. Keeps making big heart draws. And actually is leading with the ace right now. And does make the flush on the river again. Checks it. And his hapless opponent on this occasion, Dalek Jason, will, one of those spots where he knows he needs to bluff to win. Does make the bluff. Jakog 4 makes the raise, and that's going to be all she wrote. Dalek Jason sitting with Queen High. Not too much wrong with his play. He just ran into a big hand again, and that allows Jakog 4 to take the chip lead here. 47 million plays 23 million. The Englishman in charge. Playing 300,000, 600,000 blinds. So no reason for Dalek Jason to massively panic. Still has around 40 big blinds. Can still make moves like this one. 3-betting the Jack 9. But not so much when you're playing a really strong, aggressive player who has a pocket pair heads up. Puts the hammer down, and Dalek Jason has to fold. So, Dalek Jason under pressure in this heads-up match, under the 20 million chip mark. Jakog 4 opens the Jack 10. Dalek Jason will 3-bet again, this time with a stronger hand, with Ace Jack. And we'll see a flop here. 5.4 million in the middle. And, well, Jakog 4 running good when it counts. He's out-flopped his opponent here, as you can see. Dalek Jason with a gut shot and the ace over card. Reason to bet. And he gets flat called. We're up over 10 million chips in this pot. And, well, not a great card for Dalek Jason, is it? Makes himself a pair, but his opponent makes 2 pair. And he's going to fire again, and he's going to get shoved on. And what does he do here? If he calls and he doesn't improve on the river, this one is over. So tough for him. He's up against a really aggressive opponent who's put pressure on him, and he could be doing this with a worse hand quite easily. Could easily have a lower pair and a draw, just a naked draw. It's tough for him here. Easy for us. We can see the cards. If he calls, it could well be over. He does call. So Jakog 4 is 1 card away from winning the million. Dalek Jason needs to catch on this river. 2 of hearts is a blank. 39 million chips slide over to Jakog 4's stack. And the Sunday Million title slides over to the Englishman as well. After finishing runner-up back in April, he's taken it down this time around. Jakog 4 wins $197,000 after the deal. And a triumphant Kevin Icofano tweeted, "Left the belt there last time, went back and got it, won the Sunday Million." He is thrilled for himself, and quite rightly so. Fantastic performance at the final table. An amazing year in the Sunday Million. So tough to reach one final table, let alone finish first and second in two. Great stuff from him. Great stuff too from Dalek Jason, who gave us a thoroughly entertaining final table. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you're enjoying the run-up to Christmas. We'll be back with you next week with another Sunday Million. For everyone here at PokerStars.tv, I'm Nick Wealthall. Take lots of care.